Like I said, the condo market is a very interesting one right now because it's uber competitive, lots of inventory. Rental market, there's more availability than there has been in the past 4 years. A friend of mine publishes a national book called Renter's Guide, and the book is the thickest it's been in 20 years. So you guys definitely have to go above and beyond when you're selling condos, especially these days, again, versus detached or even townhomes and semis. So we're going to talk a lot today about just the whole COVID environment and, tools, specifically our virtual tour tools. Yahoo Finance, some of these stats in this deck are very, very fresh. So it's very, very much COVID data. 65% of home buyers believe that virtual tours would continue to be a great resource in their home. So we started in this space, myself and Mike Look Inside around 5-6 years ago. We selected, there's a few providers in the industry. We selected Iguide for a few reasons. The two main reasons is, number one, they're a much more technical product. Number two, they're local and Canadian. When we started, I'm being blunt, people told us we were out to lunch. Video was really just starting to kind of pick up, and 3D virtual reality was, you're playing video games. So fast forward 5 years and a pandemic later, nobody wants video anymore. Photos are photos, but we have to have the 3D tour. So the stats are out that say, as of today, already 65% of people maintain that moving forward, they must have a virtual tour. And a virtual tour is not a YouTube slideshow of photos or a 1-minute walkthrough video. A virtual tour is an immersive experience where the viewer can capture the entire property from a 360-degree point of view, literally from the ceiling to the floor. I did that backwards. If there's a cup in the sink, you can see it. So you can really get an idea of what the space is going to be like, how it feels to be in the space, what the space could potentially look like for you. So home sales are breaking records due to the COVID pandemic. Presenting a listing online is no longer a low involvement process, but instead it's been taken front and center, which is basically saying that more people are buying. Absolutely. I think it's a fact that a lot of people are relocating, and a lot of people aren't leaving to go see these properties. A year ago, when we started these webinars, we talked about the digitization of your industry and how, doctors, lawyers, real estate agents, these government officials, these age-old professions were still using things like fax machines. So, if you think about how DocuSign changed your life, now all of a sudden think about something like this. You're not soldiering around, and people don't want to soldier around anymore. People just want to see what they want to see. They want to experience, and then they want to just go to, that one. So on top of the fact that this is a much more, let's call it futuristic, if you will, way to do things, it's also the way to do it now. It's simply just become the way we do it. The top 4 tools in real estate marketing. Now we're talking about real estate marketing specifically all around. So a professional website, you still must have an online presence. Instagram page isn't a professional presence. Instagram page is a great place to showcase your brand. It's a great place to interact with your community and your clients and whatnot. But a website still, brings that credibility. And you can get a website for cheap. You can do it yourself. You can, like the Ferris team in Barrie, you can spend tens of thousands of dollars. There's just a million different ways you can do it, but not having one isn't an option. 3D tours is up next. Again, this is revolutionary technology in the eyes of many, although it's not new. It's been around for a long time. To the masses, it's very new. It's very cool. Photography, obviously, is always going to be right there. And then video walkthroughs. 2 years ago, I had a conference. I spoke to 600 agents, and video. It was the big thing. It was coming. People were learning how to scale it. Equipment was getting cheaper. So all of a sudden you could get a walkthrough video for, a basic walkthrough video for $300 or $400, as opposed to, $3,000 or $4,000. So all of a sudden it's amazing how, 1 or 2 things happen and boom, there's this huge shift. Not to mention the 3D, and we sell a lot of video. So we have a lot of marketing people that are really, agents that really stress the marketing, but not only is the 3D virtual tour, the cat's ass today, it's literally turnkey. You go on, you book, A photographer shows up, types in the lockbox code, 24 hours later, you have everything. LinkedIn, branded, unbranded. Michael's gonna show you all that, but on top of the fact that it's the latest and greatest in tech, it's also very convenient and value driven. So, you know, we all understand customers only want convenience, value, and ease today. So we really strive to give you the ultimate customer experience so you can then in turn give your clients the same ultimate customer experience. This is a crazy stat. If you're in our business and if you're in your business, it's an awesome stat because hopefully, you know, if you're good and you're focused and you're dialed in, we're going to make some money this year. Let's not, you know, let's call it what it is. We're all here to make money. 80,000 units are coming on board. So a lot of competition fighting for the space, a lot of competition selling once you've closed the deal. So again, what you need to make your unit stand out. Oops, sorry guys, thought the ringer was off. What you need to make your unit stand out, a mix of different content. Using a variety of different tools will allow people to view the home in different ways. Photo is a photo, virtual tour is a virtual tour, a floor plan is a floor plan, and a video is a video. But this is a case where I don't think less is more, it's the opposite. I'm saying like the bare minimum is you must have photos in a virtual tour. Having a few other components in there, and we'll talk about a few more things, is only gonna help elevate and help you stand out from the rest. And I don't mean to sound tacky when I say that, but it's the truth. 80,000 units and there's 60,000 real estate agents. The data doesn't lie. And content that's easily accessible. Having the content is one thing, but how you use it is another. So you need to make sure it's there and it's easy, all linked up together. And that's kind of how we roll. Again, Michael will show you what you get from us at the very basic level. And all of our add-ons work with that delivery mechanism. So whether you're logging on or whether you're ordering a simple virtual tour or you're ordering an entire marketing package. So we have packages for, you know, as little as for condos, as little as I think around $225 or so, all the way up to, you know, you could spend thousands and we could do a full production for you, you know, with actors in the works. Bottom line is whether it's $200 or $2,000, it all works together conveniently and easy. It all comes to you in one place. The last thing we want to be doing is confusing customers. And again, we look at it from the perspective of we want to give you the same service that you're looking to give your clients. It allows for a very seamless process. The building blocks to a good listing. Here's what you need. HDR photography, and this is in alphabetical order. So just throwing it out there, like the virtual tour and Iguide, the statistics, you know, we don't have to talk about that and beat it. It's the most important thing right now, simple. You're not doing photography. So let's just assume photography is a no-brainer. It's auto. And then you have this checklist of what else you want. And you should be checking VR tour every single time. I don't care if you don't do YouTube or custom domains or videos or any of that shit, but you absolutely must. And as I said before, I hope you use us. I hope you use Look Inside. But at the end of the day, there's other providers. There's other technology. Maybe you like something better. Maybe your cousin or your sibling is in the business. The point is just use it. HDR photography is very easy to share across all platforms. That's the one thing about photography, seamless across all verticals, whether it's LinkedIn, Instagram, website, your phone, Google, GMB. Photography is photography and it works everywhere. Nothing else works the same everywhere. Video has to be cut a few different ways and so on. So HDR photography will still be the foundation of your listing. It's easy to share. It's the most used piece of content in real estate. And it allows the viewers to get that quick glance and decide whether or not they want more. When they decide they want more, what are we giving them next? We're probably going to go skip through video, which is hard for me because I'm a video guy, but the way this market is today, 3D tours are our boss. We get you walk through the home from your home. We have some cool features we talked about last week, and I think we have a session coming up where we actually have the ability for you to host proper virtual tours. I don't mean like we're in a home and, hey, I'm live, come check out. I mean like actual curated walkthrough tours. We've done a few for some clients, and Lucas, I know you can hear me. Maybe we can do like some screen grabs or we can put a piece of content together to kind of showcase a little bit more of how that works. The tour also provides accurate data like measurements and detailed floor plans, which Michael's going to show you shortly. A full 360 first or third person point of view. If you're really tech savvy, you can flick a switch, throw your goggles on, and actually have a true virtual immersive experience. A lot of people aren't ready for it, but the technology is there, and we're not that far away. Time goes quick. You imagine a year ago, I was sitting talking about the same tree I'm looking at today, waiting for the leaves to come back, because when the leaves come back is when COVID was, the first lockdown was over. Here we are again, deja vu, right? Happens fast. So get ready for VR. Go buy yourself a $20 pair of goggles. Next time you do a listing, pay the $50 to turn it on and play with it. You will be hooked. And it shows the listing to multiple people at once. That's the VR, you know, the showing experience that I referenced just a moment ago. And it allows a buyer to look at the entire property, like literally every square inch of the property. And like I said, with the change of COVID, for example, not only are we doing like back closets and crawl spaces, we're doing fruit cellars, cantinas. I think they're called fruit cellars. I don't know. I'm a good Italian. We call them cantinas. It's where we keep the meat that hangs and the wine, you know. But that's awesome when I'm getting calls, and especially, you know, maybe Vaughan and Central Toronto, we're getting calls from people saying, "Don't forget to do the cantina." And my photographer's like, "Can I have a prosciutto to go, please?" But the point is, nobody's going around to see 20 or 30 houses anymore. Nobody wants to. It's not accepted. What we want to do is go see those couple of homes that we know we want to buy. And a lot of people, you know, that's a stat I'm trying to lock in, and I don't think they're ready to release it yet. I can understand for a few different reasons, but how many people don't even want to go see a home anymore? I've talked to a lot of people that have bought homes in the last year without seeing them. And lastly, video. Now, video is the king of marketing. Video is a sexy tool that's meant to just bring you eyeballs. The video is not selling the house. The video is selling you and your brand. Big difference. So if you do video, it adds, you know, much more engagement. It allows for that really quick kind of, like I said, sexy, you know, call to action. Let's get that buzz going. Let's get the sort of want to see more going. And it allows the viewers to get a little bit more of a visualization of what it's like. And again, video, outside of we have to cut it a few different ways, which isn't that difficult, is very easily shareable, again, across all platforms, social media, web, etc. So before you start talking about all the extras, photography, virtual tour, video, then we can start talking about detailed floor plans and date and night and twilight and custom websites and social media. There's infinite options. Bare bones, foundation, photos, and a virtual tour. And if you're building a brand, that's where you really want to look at the video for sure. At the peak of the lockdowns, listing with virtual tours were 17% more views per property than with just photos. I want to see, again, Lucas, if you can have some, you know, just check back periodically. I would love to see the percentage of closes or the percentage of people that went to go see. So I'm pretty confident that the 17% of those people bought at a much greater and faster rate than the other 83%. And that number is growing. It was 2% when we started. So that's a huge lift in a year. You add personality. When we're talking about video, you're adding personality. You're talking about your brand, your agent. So now you're showing people, yeah, here's the house, but here's who I am. You're building trust and rapport with your community. Drone is another great option. Really cost-effective and quick way to showcase the community. Remember, people are buying, they're not buying a house, they're buying a home. And the community where they reside, what goes on is very important. Where we live now, we can't wait to move. We're trying, you know, it's very tough to find the house we want. And, you know, when the prices of garages are millions of dollars, it is what it is. But, you know, the people that park on the street in front of the house drive us crazy. It's one of those no parking, but there's, you know, like any subdivision with a bunch of big detached homes, you have 4 or 5 adults in every house. So now all of a sudden we have 5 or 6 cars in every house. So little stuff like that. Drones really give you the ability, let's see how far the school is, how far the grocery store is. So really quick, easy way for you to showcase the neighborhood, if you will, without having to drive around and, you know, start typing up feature sheets and whatever else. Virtual staging is phenomenal. And it's another thing that, you know, once upon a time wasn't easy or cost effective. And today I'm going to say straight up, it's cheap. You can do it yourself for like $40 a room. We can do it for you for $50, $60 a room. Quick. We have the ability to virtually stage the entire 3D tours. not just photography. So now you can go into, and if we're talking about condos specifically, you know, we all understand a lot of these condos are empty. Investment properties, rental properties, Airbnb properties with minimal furniture in them. So in a very competitive market, if we're selling detached homes, you know, a lot of people argue, I don't need to stage it because it's going to sell anyway. That's not the best attitude to have. You should really have a consistent plan throughout all of your listings, because marketing and brand consistency is the key to growth long term. However, taking an empty property and being able to virtually stage it within a couple of days for a few $100s is, again, just some of the ways technology's really helped advance your business and get your, you know, those clients, you know, wanting more faster. Helping the potential buyer figure out their space. So we offer full digital floor plans with everything. Again, Michael's going to show you that. And we create day to night photography, twilight photography, again, so just really cool ways to showcase the property a little bit different. And then most importantly is, you know, being transparent in the listing, thinking what's outside of the unit, the type of neighborhood, the amenities that are there. And this, yeah, great point. This may answer the questions before they're even asked. So really, really, really focus on the extras. Yes, you can do more, really dependent on, you know, what your marketing plan is, how difficult the property is to sell, how competitive that specific. I will suggest that, yes, you should have a very consistent approach. I will concede that selling a condo downtown versus selling a condo in Mississauga or Barrie or Newcastle, probably a little bit different. A detached house today, there's no difference. It's just crazy anywhere. And then basically, just before I finish off, just gives you a little bit of an idea of how you know, the little circle. So we have the 360 tour. You can see the home from their home. We have the walkthrough video, giving viewers that quick and efficient way for the home, and then, you know, layout space with floor plans, and then the ability to share across, you know, all of your platforms. So again, at the end of the day, to give us a plug, what we do is we provide content solutions for real estate listings and basically anything with four walls, convenient and fast. All of this content, I'm telling you, if we're in your condo right now at 10:23 shooting your listing, tomorrow morning you have your photos, and before end of day, what Michael's about to show you, the Iguide report with all of these other things, you have it done, linked in real time to MLS, branded and unbranded. The cat's ass, folks. So thank you for your time. We're not done yet. Obviously, Michael's going to give you a tour. If you want to take a real quick screenshot of that, there's a code for you guys, very specific to your board. Michael and Carmel will take really good care of you. And if you end up having listings out in the East End or Central Toronto, North, my team will take just as care of you. And any of the agents that are on here from the East End, vice versa. We offer seamless transactions right across the GTA. So I just have to get the Zoom back. My computer is over here. There we go. Okay, I didn't lose anybody. We did a little test earlier and I cut them all off. I blamed it on Michael. My computer's acting up. It's one of those things where I push something and I wasn't sure. So, sorry, Mike, I'll mute myself. So ladies and gentlemen, Michael's gonna take about 20 minutes of your time now, and he's gonna showcase a lot of what I just talked about. And then we can come on and we can answer any questions. If you have any questions, I think I see a couple coming in. Just ask them in the bubble, and when Mike's done, I will come back on and we'll address any questions. So Mike, you're good. You're already sharing.
Awesome, great. Thank you.
I'll mute myself here.
Hey, well, hey, thanks to the board for having me here today, and John and Mike, absolutely, thank you for having me participate. John, yeah, you hit some key points there, especially we're seeing it in multiple markets across North America in terms of just the demand and the lack of inventory out there. Even in the condo market, things have picked up in terms of, again, if it's speculation or whatnot, or people moving around, there's definitely the demand in there. And just even for properties, people who have this additional marketing, the virtual tour, the floor plans, the ability for people to see those properties, especially in a multiple bid situation, has been very beneficial for both the sellers and dealing with the amount of buyers that are looking at that property. And I just talked to an agent in the U.S. earlier this week where they absolutely loved it. This is the first time they used the Iguide, and they had an Iguide on a property where they had a multiple bid situation, and some of the people that put the bids in hadn't even gone in to see the property. So it just gave them the ability to really understand it. And then as people are, looking at that property, they can really, discern, is that right for them? Is that going to fit, work for them and their family? Is it the right, a right fit? And then, they were probably more aggressive, is what he said. So just an interesting kind of fact. I go through these, a lot of stats and whatnot, and what I'm excited about today is the new NAR, National Association of Realtors, home buyers and sellers study just came out. We just got our hands on it this week, so I've kind of dived into it. I haven't grabbed a ton of info. A lot of things, some new interesting facts, but some things maintained and stayed the same. And a big thing about what we do is providing that information that buyers want to see. And we go back to the buyer, the consumer. How do we create a better online experience for the consumer, make it better for you to market and sell a property? One of the top things still from a seller standpoint is they're looking to you as a professional to help them sell and market their property, and typically within a time frame, if it's either quickly or within a time frame that works for them in terms of if they're moving or bought another home. And these are still things these are the tools that really help you to kind of achieve that and really deliver for your sellers. Less disruptions for your sellers, better marketing for your sellers. You're showing value to your sellers. And that's really the key, because your sellers are your referrals, referring yourself to their friends and family in terms of, still being one of the biggest lead generators for real estate professionals. So and what we'll dive into and what I'm going to share here quickly is the new NAR report. And what I've got up here, I just opened up the PDF, but just to show you, the exhibit here on the right, value of website features. This is really, the profile of home buyers and sellers. If you're not familiar with this study, is they query thousands of home buyers that have bought homes in the last year and ask them what features were important to them in terms of that home search process while they're looking for a home online. And which was just a little bit surprising to me, not much has changed. Now, the time frame for this, I believe, was from July of 2019 to July of 2020. So it really just caught, like kind of when we were in the midst of COVID. So I was expecting to see virtual tours move up in terms of the importance. But, photos are still number one. Detailed information about the property was still number two in terms of not only the price of the home and the number of rooms, but what's, the room square footage, what's the total area rooms dimensions and sizes, what's the total area calculations or square footages of that home, is that home going to be right for me and my family? And floor plan still number three. Zillow has a similar report. They just came out with some new findings and whatnot, and it's still floor plans they see as number two. So even more important than the virtual tour, floor plans still resonate more with people because it really allows them to understand how that home fits and flows for them, where the storage is, where the windows are, how the light's going to come into the home. Really gives them a good or a better understanding of that property and, if their furniture is going to fit. So it is the easiest and most, simple way to convey an understanding of a property. And this is why we get so much strong feedback on our virtual tours from consumers going through them, because they can see themselves in the property as they're moving through. Real estate information number four, so that didn't change, and virtual tours number five. So not a lot of shiftment and changes in this. We did see, though, last year, like going through in terms of the height of COVID, up to almost 27% of properties in the US, and these are some stats that I got from other industry players in terms of what they saw, and up to 27% of homes having virtual 3D tours on those properties. So very strong growth. That did drop down a bit at the end of last year, but we're seeing out of the gates here, personally, we're seeing as a company, a lot of agents really being competitive and seeing this as an important factor in terms of their marketing of a property. So Just thought I'd share some of that information with you. You can download that report from, it is a US report, but very great, lots of full of great facts and figures and information about, for the seller, for the buyer, and for the agent. So quickly, just to run through what we do is, typically when we talk about providing all the information to buyers and sellers want to see is in an Iguide, you'll have a full 3D immersive tour. You can include things like your video links as well, or your photos. So everything is in here, and the photos can be either slideshow or gallery style. And what that allows the buyer to do is really spend more time on a listing. And what we've found is that that typically buyers will spend significantly more time on a listing when there is this rich media content like an iGuide. The typical iGuide will include your agent information as well as your website or your Facebook accounts, your social media, or how to contact you, which is really key, and then details about the property as well as a map. So you really get a great understanding of where that property is situated, how that property is going to work for you and your family, and really be able to explore and kind of understand a property. One nice feature that we have to the product is the ability to go in and understand, is my furniture going to fit? And so you can quickly go on screen and discern, yeah, you know what, I could fit a king size bed in this bedroom. Perfect. That was one of the criteria what I have. The biggest thing is when we see consumers shopping online is they typically want to go straight to that room that's most important to them. And here, I'll show you an example of one. Let's just jump to one that we found here on realtor.ca. So this is a property in Mill Street, Toronto. So right in the actual listing, on the listing page, you're going to have a couple things. You're going to have right below there an embedded iGuide. So if you've got video and an iGuide or just everything on that condo, in this particular case, it's going to be embedded right there on that main listing page, right beside the agent's information, the sales person's information. So it really corresponds well with your branding and really calling out kind of the advanced marketing features that you see there. What's nice about it is that people will typically want to go straight to the room that they want to see and what's most important to them. If it's typically the kitchen and they want to understand if that kitchen's going to work for them in terms of fit and flow and how it looks within the condo, they can go straight there and really understand as they move around that kitchen to jump in and jump out. Other things, if it's determining that bedroom again and kind of looking at it and see what the view looks like, these are all important factors. And so whatever criteria is driving their needs in terms of the purchase of that property, that's really where they're going to go first to make sure that they can check off that box and say, yes, this property fits what I'm going to need for me and my family. A big thing right now, and especially with a lot of the condos that have been being purchased lately, is rentals as well. So even people who own condos or speculators are buying condos, they want to be able to rent these properties. And there's actually a gentleman in my neighborhood who was in this situation. They own a condo here in Toronto and they weren't able to rent it. They did get an iGuide, and maybe it was a little influence of me as well, but they were able to then kind of market that property and share that property with them. They had renters in there that were moving out, so they weren't able to go and set up the showing, especially with COVID, but they were able to arrange to get the iGuide done, and now they were able to market that property. So when those people moved out, they were, I think, a month that they was empty, but they basically were able to rent that property quite quickly. So it just added to the marketing. He's like, he's in love with it. He's like, this has made my life so much easier, especially through where we were trying to show people this property and dealing with COVID at the same time. So nice little elements there that we kind of touched on. And what's great about this is that placement on realtor.ca. So the goal of your property, what I say is you want to stage, share, and show. So stage your property, get all your digital assets together, let Mike and his team do the photography, get the photos, get the 3D tour, the floor plans, And then you want to share it. So market that property as much as possible. And there's multiple different ways to market and share that property. First is, put that URL link of the Iguide, the unbranded Iguide, into the MLS. And it's automatically going to be grabbed by CREA, and they're going to populate it here on that main page on realtor.ca. Also, what happens is they pull the URL and they got a webhook to grab our floor plans. So right when you click on there, our floor plans are automatically added to the listing page, which is fantastic. So now people can go in, look at the room measurements, dimensions, really understand the property. We provide, and one little fact that I'll give you in terms of measurements, and we talked about measurements, I think last time I was on this webinar, is our methodology of measurement and how we get to those final measurements. But with condos, typically we have a total above grade floor area, main building interior, main building exterior. For condos, typically we turn off the exterior. That's up to Mike and his team to do. But when they turn that off, it's really the main building interior, which is the paint to paint. So that's going to show and depict on our floor plans is that everything that is within the walls, the outside walls of this property are included in those square footage calculations. So everything that is shaded and has color to it is included, excluding that exterior wall around the property. So what we say is paint to paint. And that's the total area calculations for the property. Typically, if you saw like a stairway or open to below, we would not put color on that, and you would see that as not being included in the total area calculations of the home. So just a little fact in terms of how to read the floor plans when you do see them. And then the other way is to really share it. And the reason why you want to share it so much, you want to get a lot of views there because you want to be able to show the value to your clients. So you can show things on Facebook. You can grab 360s of the property and share that. So if there's a great, beautiful shot of the dining room and kitchen or the key piece of key room in that property that you want to showcase, you can quickly pop that up on Facebook and get more engagement. And as people are scrolling down, they'll flip on that and it'll grab their attention. Other ways you can do is you can share the photos of a property. You can even do screen captures. You can do this with your phone if you wanted to. Quickly do a screen cap, post it to Instagram. Be able to walk someone through that property and get more engagement. Give them the link if you're either embedding it on your website and driving them back to your website or drive them back to the Iguide. So the whole idea of that is to really bolster your analytics. And what you're going to get from Mike and his team is an Iguide report. We'll have the branded and unbranded links that you're going to share and show. They'll have the PDFs of the floor plans. You'll be able to have those photospheres that I just showed. That was the 360 of the room, as well as the high-res images for your listing. There's a feature sheet creator. So if we get back to the days where you need to make a brochure or feature sheets, you can still do that. And then an embedding tool. So you can embed this on your website if you wanted to embed this great listing presentation on your website. You'll get all the measurements and area calculations for the listing. But then when it goes to show the value to your clients, this is where the money is in terms of the analytics. Being able to go back and show your clients, hey, this is how I marketed your property. This is how people came into your property. These are how many unique visitors came to see your property and how many returning visitors came back again. So we generated a lot of interest in your property. People are looking at your property. And this is a great way to, after the sale or during the sale process, go back to your clients and show them the amount of activity that is going on with your property and how you're bringing value to the table. And I always talk about this because my parents were both agents. They worked evenings, weekends, it's kind of 24/7 job. I get it. And it's hard to show your clients value all the time. And this is a great tangible way to show value to your clients so that they're your next referral, which is, I think, a key point. We do have two different packages that I'll quickly talk about. You can pick different colors for the floor plans, whatever you like, balance, gray, if you want more of a traditional black and white. Again, the color is there to depict the square footage calculation. So this is something that is unique, that really depicts, and quickly you can discern the square footage of what areas are included and not included. And that's why it's important to have these colors on the floor plans. It's just not only to look pretty, but to have that. Now, if you have a higher end condo or a higher end listing, Mike and their team can do a premium floor plan package for you, which will include cabinets, the sinks, the appliances, the amenities, that type of thing in there. All our floor plans will include room dimensions and area calculations and doors, but this is a nice add-on feature, especially if it's a step-up condo for a client that you're trying to win over as well. So I think I touched on pretty much everything, and we could probably take some questions. I don't know, John, if you're still around. I'll see if
I am here. I just gonna kick you off here. There we go. My computer.
One thing, and I keep bringing this up because it just talked about stats, John, is that during the height of COVID, Realtor.com did a study that that buyers and consumers, they wanted to see those virtual tours. That was really important to them because they wanted to be able to see inside the property. But the other big thing was accurate and detailed listing information. And there's a number of blogs out there, and you can see where information on listings is incorrect or wrong. And so, one of the things that you and your team and Mike and his team are doing is trying to grab all those details for a property listing that you can populate and that and have trust in as well.
No, that's awesome. You covered everything, and in great time. Jeez, you're getting real good at that, eh? And we answered the question. So, I mean, we're right around the 45-minute mark. We try to keep them, inside of 50. So, like I said, I think that you got it, Mike. I will really quickly, I will flash for you guys the coupon code again. Wait a second. There it is. So if you use that code when you book, $45 off your next shoot. I'll give you guys another second to just take that down. OMDREB, $45 off. The deck will go out, so you'll get an email with that. So I see people are starting to leave. As I said, Michael, I think you sort of answered everything. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you always for your time. Michael, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Shout out again to Mike Farrick and the team at Look Inside, who do a real good job taking care of you all. And we will be back here. I will tell you really quickly, because I don't know off the top the topic. If you wait for 1 second, I will pull it up here and I will tell you March 11th. March 11th is a big one. We're going to talk about social media and advertising. So we're going to talk about how to use this content and get it out there. So any questions, let me know. Hit up Carmel, hit up Mike, We got you covered. Otherwise, stay safe, stay healthy. Good luck next week as everything sort of starts to reopen. Work smart, make money. We'll see you guys on March 11th.